stand out like so frequently this entire tournament, and they've immediately locked in Shen for themselves. We've talked about him a couple of times this tournament. Oh, wow. Actually, already there's a lot of fast picks coming in there. Sorry, I tripped over my own words. Dignitas, right? They love to come into a game knowing what their strategy is beforehand, so that they are very confident in their picks. They can lock them in quickly. And it was interesting when I was listening to these semifinal match between Curse and Solomid. You know, they were picking up to the last second. Curse was like, wait, are we going to pick this against Jace? Are we sure? Yes, okay. And yeah, they locked it in at the last second. But Dignitas, much more confident they're going to lock these in right away and really go for some synergies that they've already pre-planned.
This is going to be a pretty nice area of effect composition coming out from Team Solo Mid right off the bat, going for a strategy where they can leave Chaos, they can leave Shen rather off in the distance, stand united to get back into the fight. It looks like a very aggressive and dominating pick here as PewDiePie actually going back for that Kog'Maw. I was talking to TSM recently, and I believe it was Chaos that was saying, and I said this yesterday, people forgot how to play against him. There's a lot of poke there. You kind of put yourself that few steps into the wrong position, and you're way out of position versus Kog'Maw. So he may be able to take that down quite strong. He also throws the turret damage mastery in there. So we'll see them really going for these objectives and pushing down those lanes.
Yeah, so right now, looking at these teams, what Solo Mid's going for is a very team fight-centric composition. They've also grabbed the Shyvana as a major counter jungler against that Skarner pickup there. Shyvana is very good at running into the jungle, stealing away some of those monsters, and running back out. I actually was talking, with Solo Mid in the hotel 2 days back after, I believe, these semis, though that doesn't really work out on timing. But Ogwin was saying, why would I ever clear my jungle when I can just clear theirs? And that's kind of the strategy he's been going for. Whenever you watch a Solo Mid dominating game, it's because he picks up a counter jungler, he crushes the opposing jungle, and just takes everything away. Dignitas' full lineup is all about late game. Rumble, Ryze, Kog'Maw. You've got Lulu in there and Skarner. They've got a couple of early game opportunities as well. Skarner and Ryze is a pretty good gank. Skarner into Rumble is a pretty good gank. Lulu Kog'Maw is not the best lane to gank for. They can kind of let that one kind of sit in the background and farm for a while. PewDiePie, very, very mechanically proficient, will keep up in gold and overall have a great time late game. And that's going to be their goal here, is get to that late game. We'll see if Dignitas can do it. Worked against CLG in game one. We'll see if it works here as well.
They have great compositions. Dyrus getting Shen. Somebody can say sustained very well in lane. Dyrus has been so slippery these matches. He's been able to get out with numerous times under 100 HP with those ignites on, wasting his opponent's summoner spells, getting out of the fight for his team to come back around. Very interesting here is these guys haven't seen their other champion pools banned out either. That Jace is still in there for Dyrus. Jax is still in there for Crumb. So even if this matchup goes the different way for how the teams are hoping, they still have those huge picks that have been major factors in these upcoming games.
Yeah, there's a lot of options available to these teams. Again, Dignitas coming out saying we want a late game lineup, and that was their goal from minute one. And as you saw those picks go through, that was what happened here. Now, there's a couple of windows of opportunity here. We looked at TSM versus Curse, and Curse shut down Reginald's Ryze with a Morgana. We're going to see if that's going to be the case here. We're going to be ready to go into game. Crowd, let me hear you. Are you ready for this game one?
And we do see, we are going to be looking at that team Dignitas first. Guys, they have soundproof headphones on, but they want to hear you one more time. They need your backing. They are obviously coming in against the North American favorites. If you are here for Dignitas to take these two games in the #1 position in North America, let me hear you for Dignitas.
But if you're a fan of blue and would rather see Team Solo Mid bring out this game one, let me hear you cheer for Team Solo Mid.
Now milling about, figuring out what they want to do in the beginning of this matchup. The TSM chants continue on and drown out as they wait for the action to happen. Everybody in full suspense here for the first blood that may happen in just a few seconds. Both teams choosing to kind of do their own thing here, be a little bit somewhat aggressive and show themselves, but they may still kind of get into a fight here. They're kind of backing off left and right. It seems like some of them are going to go towards that top side as they can see. So now, Freak, with this early vision, I don't think they're going to be doing any invading.
Yeah, everyone's sticking around in the middle. They're being pretty passive here overall. TSM was actually sitting on top of a ward for a while. You see the pings coming out there by Dignitas saying they know Solo Mid just warded that raid. So everyone's got a lot of information, but they know that information's available to both sides. It ended up being a very defensive start to this game, both teams are confident. When you go in like this and you actually play a sort of defensive early game, it means you're confident because you think you can just pull it out, 12 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 30 minutes later, 76 minutes later, by just playing your game and doing a really good job. It's actually the teams that have a little bit to worry about that will play a very aggressive early game because they think they need to make opportunities happen. So just by this, you're seeing really both these teams thinking they've got what it takes to pull this one out. I talked with Crumbs backstage right before the match, and they're saying, are you guys ready for this match? He says, oh yeah, we're going to 2-0. I'm like, are you just being, bravado?
Getting caught out here on the bottom, actually has to flash over the wall. Chaos doing very nicely at forcing that flash.
Oh, nice. Yeah, anyway, as Crumbs said, are you trolling me, or do you really think it's a 2-0? And this is in private. He's not, doing it for a video or anything. He's like, no, we really think we're going to 2-0 Team Solo Mid.
So if we look at the matchup down bottom, and Kog'Maw usually grabbing that Nunu or Janna support, but Lulu kind of provides the same thing as Janna here. She gives that slow as well that synergizes with Void Ooze as well as the shield. What's the difference between that? A little more aggression from a Lulu?
Yeah, ultimately, I feel like this lane's going to go in Solo Mid's favor. They've got a lot better burst overall, and they've got that heal because of Sona. Now, Patoy can poke a lot, and he loves playing Lulu. He's going to be very good at it, but you can just see PewDiePie taking a lot of damage. Dominate, though, getting jumped on here by the odd one. The binding, not quite going to land. Dominate will get out of his jungle. Looks like that lizard buff still available, though, so nothing quite happening just yet.
Even as you said, Odd One saying, I'd rather jungle his than mine.
Yeah, and he's going to keep that going. That's really what the Shyvana pick was for. There's a lot of champions in the Odd One's roster. He's going to pick the one that's going to suit his team best. In this case, he says, Shyvana's going to suit my team best. I want to deny this jungle. Back in there for that lizard right now. No one knows about it just yet. Actually, no, there are things going off. See if they can stop him in time, but Reginald's already there. Down the binding, put it on the pool, and there is a smite. Odd One takes that one away. Very, very nice job by Team Solo Mid.
I like that a lot by the Odd One. He didn't go for it right away to make sure he wasn't ganked within the jungle. He saw where the lanes were, and then Dominate said, man, he probably got it already, and they were actually right on the other side of the wall from each other. So really just great peace of mind by the Odd One. He's going to go ahead and still continue to clear more jungle.
Yeah, and another really good thing that Solo Mid's done for this early game is give Reginald that early golem buff. Shyvana is a champion who does not need mana, so she doesn't need the mana regeneration that buff provides, which means they can donate it over to that Morgana played by Reginald. Again, we saw Morgana versus Ryze in the semifinals, and it went very well in Morgana's favor. Solo Mid happy to keep that matchup. Dignitas currently feeling confident. Oh my gosh, PewDiePie, so much pain going off. And again, Xpecial is on Sona. He can keep pumping health into his teammate. You're seeing TSM have a very good early game in this lane.
T-Freak, this is what TSM has always done in the past. They invade the jungle, they get a little bit up in gold, 400, 500 gold, but you're denying especially Skarner that red buff. He does have a bit of movement speed, but it synergizes so well as he can keep the attacks with the red buff slow. So now that he's behind, we're going to see the Odd One safely going into lanes, knowing Dominate is going to be behind even if there's a counter gank, and they're going to be much more secure in those ganks.
Yeah, additionally, Skara, with not very much mana left on him, he knows that Ryze will not be a very big threat if there is a fight in the jungle. You see the board there, the Odd One is stealing away Raves and happily walking away. Doesn't care about I will dominate too much there. But if they do get into a 2-on-2 in that upper jungle, Ryze is not going to be nearly as effective. And actually, here comes the gank around the backside. Crumb's going to get taunted up there by Dyrus, but he's so low on health, he's not going to take it, or will he? The flash comes out, exhaustion's there, first blood goes up, but they're going to fire back. Odd One will pick up the, actually Dyrus gets the kill credit with Ignite, but that was I don't know, you got a jungler coming and you've got yourself killed before he arrived. That's a little silly from Dyrus.
Freak, you can almost tell what's going through the minds of these players. They know they're going to go down and they try to get that last bit of damage out. It's really just what you need to do. I would say over 50% of the time, the first bloods in these matches is traded back with another kill from that other person in the lane.
Yeah, whether it's the same lane or a lane across the maps we see throughout the European regionals as well. Early aggression happens all over the map sometimes. Already the 1-to-1 score right now. A lot of pressure still on this bottom lane. Solo Mid right now able to rely on Chaos and Xpecial quite successfully. 26 to 44 in minions. Solo Mid really a great job with their attack damage carrying support down here.
We see Crumbs meeting the Odd One. He camped top now. They're going to keep going for him, putting him down to half HP already before he throws Scrap Shield on. He was waiting on it so he could get the speed to get under his turret. Dyrus now to play a bit more aggressive, and he's already come back to lane with that Doran shield to keep his health just continuously regenerating a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's a very just defensive opening here for Dyrus. He knows he needs to sustain in this matchup. That Crumbs on Rumble's going to keep gaining power. And here comes the gank on the bottom lane. Reginald jumping in. PewDiePie flash will not happen. Glenn's not going to matter either. Chaos picks up the kill credit for it. Easy pick up there. Reginald will survive that encounter as well, despite the true damage from a Cathian surprise.
Key to victory number 2, create the roaming game for Team Solo Mid, and they are doing exactly that. Crumbs was able to capitalize on that one mistake top during the gank with the odd one. He did get first blood, so both of these guys really playing off those keys to victory right in the beginning of the matchup. 7 minutes in, like I said, Team Solo Mid loves that early gold lead. It is 9,000 to 8,000 gold.
Yeah, and they're just going to be happy to have that lead and keep it growing. They're up a very significant margin this early on. And the thing is, they're only up that one champion kill, which means a lot of that gold is, in fact, coming from minions and monsters. I want to quickly look at the jungle comparison real fast. Shyvana, 38 minions, 1,800 gold. Skarner, 29 minions, 1,500 gold. So, you know, yeah, there's an assist there, but overall, it is the odd one really counter-jungling very, very effectively against I Will Dominate.
Crumbs backing off, overheating. Looks like he's going to come back into lane. Odd one, milling about the jungle. Looks like they are going to be able to distribute this one off. They did not get any kind of invade on those jungles. The odd one actually waited for a late invade and started going for the red. So this is going to be the first move going over to Reginald here. It looks like Skara has got his as well. A little aggression down bottom. PewDiePie taking shots, and he stays in the fight, trying to throw back on the kill. And he goes down once again, almost giving that kill to Corki right there. Chaos takes a good amount of damage from the Cathian surprise, but they are not going to be forced out of lane. This is huge.
Top lane, Crumbs taking a lot of damage from Dyrus and the odd one. With Equalizer down, the slow from that will let him run away there. In addition to his upgraded boots, he'll be safe. But Solo Mid have really turned on the aggression here. This is worrisome for Dignitas. Not a good place for them. Dominate shows up to this top lane as well to keep Crumbs alive. Dyrus will not be able to die for this turret. Dominate will soak up his golden experience here. This will give time for Crumbs to get back to base, heal, and get back with a couple of items under his belt.
You see that bottom lane, I think PewDiePie was waiting for that polymorph to go down on Corki, but he was able to just throw that damage in. This is going to deny PewDiePie so much experience in his lane. Corki is level 6 right now, PewDiePie is 5. That's only going to really help him to use his ultimate to poke out PewDiePie, but he'll get that range in just a few minion waves, and he'll be able to kind of thwart back in there. But the fact that he's not getting that CS, the minion kills, is right now 71 to 35.
Yeah, it is a massive snowball there. It's 2 kills, the 2 deaths as well. He's just much, much more powerful, and Chaos is going for an early phage, which tells me he's looking for a Trinity Force for a lot of mid-game damage output, and that really plays into how this game's going to work, where Solo Mid has a lot of early game advantage. They want to convert that into a really, really strong mid-game where they can close it out. If Solo Mid can play their game perfectly, they can close this game in the first 25 minutes. Dignitas, unless they get something miraculous happening, is going to have to hold on and scrape together their mid-game and rely on the later advantages. Scar taking a lot of damage from Reginald, and it's weird, you know, again, he was happy to play Rise against Morgana in there. He's actually kept up in minions quite well, but it was the roaming game that put Solo Mid so far ahead.
Yeah, and you can see just how aggressive Reginald is allowed to play. Like I said before, the odd one continues to counter the jungle of I Will Dominate. He has no chance to get back into lane. He does not have the items to even counter gank successfully with his team, because it may turn in the favor of TSM, and they do not want to take those chances. They are doing very well right now, which is continuously playing the strat that they want and dictating this game in their favor.
Yeah, and they're going to have to keep dictating and being fearless and keeping the pressure on. If they let this up, again, Dignitas' lineup is so late game focused that it's going to be scary if the game crests 35 minutes. Solo Mid is on a bit of a clock right here, and that could be a lot of pressure, especially when you're in a grand final match, when you want to skip the group stage of a $2 million tournament. You know that if you make one misstep, you give your opponent a turret, you give your opponent an ace, you suddenly thrown away all of your early advantage. One good team fight could throw this. Here comes the taunt, and they're going to come into Shyvana as well. Trump's going to take a lot of pain. Here comes the Equalizer. He's going to try to run toward the river. He's getting some good movement out of this. Can he flash the ball? No, he doesn't! He fails the flash. He's got to get away from the odd one. He's going to put down some slows, and Dominate does come by. A nice escape from Crumbs. I love that Equalizer coming down, lines up his escape path. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was huge. One more Flame Breath from Shyvana would have taken him out, but that just the Equalizer slow pulled him just out of range, and Odd One knew it. He didn't even fire it off. So now they are to back in lane. I Will Dominate, pretty full mana. He's going to take this one down. And as PewDiePie returns to lane himself, he's really been able to finish his boots.
Dominate takes a bunch of damage jumping in against Dyrus and the odd one, but he makes it out. He's just been farming minions up at his turret. He's going to recall back as Crumbs has returned here. Solo Mid not quite going for the rush bait there. They are going to recall out. Even though they might have wanted to jump back on a Crumbs when he returned. But Crumbs going for early magic penetration, has the Sorcerer Shoes, going for a Haunting Guise as well. Once again, relying on the base damages of his abilities. And he's going to be going for an Abyssal Scepter next, which is going to combine well with Rise and a little bit onto Lulu, Skarner, and Kog'Maw as well. But it really is just to amplify his base damages as much as possible. And as he accelerates throughout that game, it's going to be very nice having so much Magic Pen.
Freak pushing that lead to 2,000 gold. We can see Corki now finishing up that Phage almost. He doesn't have the Sheen yet. He's going for the attack speed as well as the Phage. He wants to slow that Kog'Maw and keep him in position. Kog'Maw actually quite easy to gank, and once you get that slow on him, if you can dodge the Voidoos, he's very susceptible to going down. We'll see they're kind of focusing on this dragon here. Crumbs also coming down from top to help with this, and it doesn't look like this TSM is going to be able to put anything on it other than a little bit of pressure. And they can test all the way. Here comes the odd one to come in. I think it may go down before that. Dragon at half health right now. PewDiePie taking a shot from the outside. Skara takes the next one as Chaos kind of just throwing his mana away to try and get them off of it. And Dignitas takes a somewhat uncontested dragon.
Very nice job overall. Oddman was almost in range. He could have maybe dragoned over the wall and then relied on an ultimate from Dyrus. Instead, they just have Dyrus push that top lane, that turret down below half health. Golem buff picked up securely on Dignitas' side. I'm surprised Solo Mid didn't go for a bit more pressure there. They did have everyone available. They did all have full health. Scar, you can see, actually getting low on mana. They're finishing that Golem camp. TSM could have went for more pushes here. Dominate, actually, I just noticed there's an interesting synergy here between I Will Dominate Skarner and Patoy's Lulu. Lulu has a gigantic speed buff available on her kit, and she can just rush Skarner into the enemy team to pull someone back with that Impale. That's going to be very, very interesting. This mid-game, Dignitas can pick up kills out of nowhere with great initiates from that Skarner.
See, backing off, the odd one returns to his jungle now, and see how Dominate has caught up in levels to the odd one. He was a level behind throughout that early game of the jungle, so he's finding ways to get that experience back to himself. He's been top a few times. Crumbs has gone back. These guys are really working together right now as they have to. TSM has their number in lane for lane. Morgana again going back for the blue buff. We'll see Rise doing that in just a second. Actually, he has his already, so he did it before he went back. Dominate now backing in lane. And as we look at some of these builds, we're going to see Kog'Maw a little behind in money. PewDiePie, not a terrible build for Kog'Maw, but he's not going to get the damage he wants. He'll be relying on the scaling speed with that Living Artillery. Or Bio Arcane Barrage, rather.
Yeah, he's going to be really relying on that to make him the late game champion. Having so much attack range and safety is going to be great. And we saw this combination from Curse, actually, which was the Shen-Shyvana combo, which are going to be ultimate dive buddies there, very similar to Nocturne Shen, or even, you know, a Nocturne Shyvana, though you wouldn't really run two junglers so much. But Shyvana basically can dive in there, pop the Dragon's Descent, letting her dive forward as a dragon, dealing a bit of damage, knocking back targets, and Shen can just appear on top of that, giving a nice, gigantic shield, and then jumping in and just showing up beside Shyvana. So Shyvana can initiate, Shen can show up right next to her, and then dive in with his own taunt to lock up targets. And then, of course, that area of effect taunt there, the Shadow Dash from Shen, can also combo with Sona's Crescendo. So if especially, oh my gosh, mid lane, a lot of aggression here. Skara getting dropped very, very low against Reginald. They will trade back and forth, but Reginald will pick up the kill there. They might even move to the top lane, Trump's getting a bit of pressure, but they're overall okay in the top lane.
TSM doing a lot of that, getting out by the skin of their teeth in these fights, and Reginald knew he can aggressive flash there. He wasn't going to need it to get out. Dominate was not shown on the map, but mid goes down as Dominate now follows towards top here. Dyrus dashing out of that one. Very nice job. I believe he just came through that top ward. Dominate going to return through it. And we see a huge push going down on mid as bottom lane, getting a little bit of aggressive here. PewDiePie forcing the fight through as Chaos fires back once more. Looks like they both come out with somewhat equal health between the support and PewDiePie, but Chaos took a little too much damage there.
Yeah, it's one of the things that happens when one of you buys boots and the other doesn't. Right now, especially such a great early game. You actually look at the pull coming in, trying to lock up the champion. Threshold getting very, very low. Dominate still chasing the Shen ultimate comes down. Dominate needs to run backwards. Skara gonna take a dark bind into the face. Odd One's still in front. Rachel taking more damage. He's one hit from gone. The taunt coming out from Dyrus. Skara, he will fall down. He's gonna keep dogging this turret here.
Oh man, Especial and Chaos very hurt right now, but Patoy as well. They could turn this one around. Patoy goes down, and it's going to be not a double kill, but both duos going down. But Especial and Chaos picking one up each for themselves and giving each other an assist. And I really like what Dyrus did there. As Skara got out of the Dark Binding, he allowed Skara to take a few steps. He didn't want to taunt him out right away. He was like, yeah, you can do it. I'm going to do more damage with a Vorpal, and then we'll lock you up once more for the kill. In perfect range to get out of the turret. 3 going down by Dignitas.
All right, we're going to see a replay of that last battle right there. TSM pulling out so many great moves, and there's a crescendo locking up PewDiePie. Exhaust on as well, just not able to deal much damage. They actually wait out the exhaust back from Patoy, and then just look at this call. They turn back around, the burst comes out, immediately dropping them both down. The Valkyrie jumping in as well. That was great patience by TSM to wait for a couple of cooldowns and then go back in for that kill. They didn't even combo off a crescendo necessarily. They didn't even combo off of exhaust necessarily.
Right.
They waited for the actual offensive spells from Dignitas to wear out and then came back for it.
Strength of that power cord taking PewDiePie down. 0-3-0 in this matchup, and he's still going for that Phantom Dancer first. You have the Trinity Force almost built, that last gold of the recipe required to finish that first core item of Corki's build. He's going to be quite far ahead of PewDiePie right now. We're 18 minutes into the match. This is when you usually see those Infinity Edge, the Triforces, the Rabadons, that Zhonya's is already built. This is when you see them being finished if you're having a pretty average match. That 15-minute mark is like, whoa, they have that item already? So everybody's kind of throwing this into the average part for TSM. Like I said, they're dictating how they want this game to go. They've got a 6,000 gold lead off of that 1,000. They never lost it. They're pulling on Dyrus. He is straight under the turret, but the turret is about to go down as well. Here comes Chaos, the roam on the AD carry, and he may be caught out of position. Skarner's ultimate is down, and here comes the Lulu Wild Throw. They focus one down. Corki falls, and they will maybe be able to get Dyrus on this one. But Reginald coming out of nowhere to shut down this fight, and they're going to turn this around for a counter. Special might find himself another kill here. He takes out Crumbs, and Skara will go down. The odd one walks out cleanly.
Wow, amazing, amazing fight by Solamid. A nice initiation by Dignitas. Screw the crowd, I'm gonna let them talk. That you're hearing right there, that's the sign of how this game is going. It is all TSM all of the time. Initiation for Dignitas was strong. They eventually did pick up the kill onto KX's Corki. TSM, they're so up in gold. Attack damage carry? We don't need an attack damage carry. We'll just win this fight outright. We're going to actually watch the fight again as well to see just how that played out. It was the initial initiation from Dignitas. They pull up Dyrus, but Dyrus is tanky. He's a Shen who is farmed, so KX shows up and they switch focus. They go for the burst. Skarner jumping in, and the perma-slow is great. The flash comes out. Lulu ultimate really locking them up. But look at the comeback here. So much damage comes out as Reginald finally gets into range. Just immediately pops the kill onto Dominate. Goes for some more pressure as the odd one comes in as well. And now odd one is too tanky to care about a turret. They get some very easy kills there as they pick up that grab onto Skara as well.
Like we said, creating that roaming game for themselves. So omnipresent on the map right now, and TSM will look to take the second dragon. The first one, they were kind of on their heels, and they kind of took a Polaroid of Dignitas taking this. Now they've got their own, they got that recorded video they can watch later at home, and they are going to be moving out here, just increasing that gold lead. It's still at that 6,000 mark, 30,000 gold to 24,000, the 20-minute mark of this game just hitting, and it's going to be 4-1 in turrets. TSM is objective-driven right now.
Yeah, this is the make or break moment for Solamid, and it is going to be objective-based. This is the time where they need to actually close this out because they've set up their early game. They've created the roams. They've gotten a lot of kills. KX has his Trinity Force. They've got Zhonya's already on Reginald. This is great for them. They're in the right place. They're where they want to be, but this is where they need to close this out. Dignitas' late game is fearsome right now as they start completing more items. You know, it's time for the Abyssal to get started here on Crumbs. You've got a lot of mana starting to be built here on Skara. His Tear of the Goddess already at plus 344. That's going to keep growing up to a max of 1,000 bonus mana for that item. He's going to keep scaling into that late game, and that's where the Dignitas wants to get. So TSM, they've already killed the outer turrets. There's no dragon to kill right now. Baron is a bit of a risky proposition, but Solamid needs to make a couple more right moves here because they don't have too much time. So Dignitas' late game champions will take over, even if they are down in gold.
Dignitas milling about, going for the shield here as they move on. TSM going for the 3-man right now. Will they be able to take this one down? A good amount of damage here, but it's more about the tank. They're trying to just work themselves around. They have really good warding. Reginald trying to act as a single wall of defense here. The Dark Bindings will let them know they're there, but Dignitas just happy to clear out some wards right now, and I don't think they're going to have any vision of this whatsoever. It's getting quite close, and TSM looks to be that much farther in the lead in just a few seconds.
Yeah, Dignitas not aware whatsoever. Great job by Solo Mid, showing Reginald, showing Chaos. Very rare a team takes out Baron without the attack damage carry, but they've done it. Baron respawning at 28.5 minutes, and this is exactly what Team Solo Mid wanted, a great sneak Baron right there. And now's the time for them to turn up the pressure. This is going to be the push they're going to want here. You're going to see them recall back for items. They're going to make one last great buy. They're going to want at least the other two item first right now. PewDiePie getting caught out by Chaos as well. Not even going to try to dodge his abilities. They know that kill is his. 170 gold is all that PewDiePie is worth. Crowd once again cheering for great play from Team Solo Mid.
Chaos is all over this. He saw PewDiePie down, played the time on that, says, I have enough time to get down there. Still saw him in the bush from attacking the minion and just continued to go through it. See? Dyrus moving around, trying to go for that red take, and it looks like he may be able to get it. Here they come around the corner. They will not see the minion until just now. The ward goes down in the bush for the upper hand. A quick dash into Baron keeps him safe, and that's another play that, you know, TSM is working off of here. They don't have a Gragas, but Shen pretty much able to do the same thing with that taunt. He's positioning himself so he does have that easy escape. TSM is always putting themselves in a situation where they at least have that one escape or that one way to reinitiate the fight. We saw it happen top. Dominate came in with that the stinger from Skarner, and they were able to take him down, but Dyrus just walked out of that. You saw there was enough time for Reginald to get top. They threw that fight into their favor, only taking out Chaos, and they did not need him for the rest of the fight. So Dignitas trying to capitalize on those mistakes, but they have to make sure as well they do not overcommit on these fights.
Yeah, well, the one good thing for them is they have a great lineup for sitting back, wave clearing, and trying to farm out champions. If anyone but Dyrus has caught up, well, anyone but Dyrus and the odd one, I suppose, is caught up in front, and Reginald doesn't land that black shield, the immediate pull in from Skarner is going to be great here. There's not a lot of great, like, save me abilities here on Solo Mid. They've got the Shen ultimate, and that's nice, and if Special can land an area of effect stun from that crescendo on Sona, they're going to be okay, but they don't have this sort of triple support comp that Dignitas had back at IPL 4. You know, it's going to be, it is absolutely possible here for Dignitas to pick up individual kills very, very rapidly. If they can get just the right positioning, they're going to be okay here. Solo Mid, they've got the Baron buff, they've got the Shen split pushing the right-hand side lane. The other four are going to happily push up towards the top. Dignitas can't even dive in right now. If they initiate, they'll just get that standing netted from Shen and be safe here. The poke, very good from Solo Mid as well. Reginald landing these dark bindings, putting the tormented soil underneath, and dealing a lot of harassment overall to this Dignitas lineup. You can still see Dyrus at the bottom half, just shoving down this turret. He will happily just deal more and more damage. It's so close to gone. Dyrus going to pick up another turret kill here. That's 5 for Solo Mid.
Solo Mid in full control and completely in the driver's seat right now. They are not second-guessing or second-stepping anything they're doing. Every fight has been a complete initiation, and they continue to turn these ones around in their favor if it doesn't even turn out to be in their favor on the initiation. Dominate here, tries to go for the ultimate. The black shield thwarts him away. They all break the shackle, and it may be a great turnaround here. This is the domination cap. This is where they need to capitalize. Dignitas coming in, but Shyvana, the odd one up in front, trying to keep the damage to himself. Equalizer goes down completely.
A 5-on-4 because Crumbs was stuck at the bottom. The Shen ultimate came from Dyrus, a great initiation attempt overall, but they took so long between fights. All of the Dignitas had flashes up. They used 3 flashes. Everyone broke the Morgana Soul Shackle, so no one was locked up there. And TSM was so far into Dignitas' base, a single rise, root prison, that one ultimate from Skarner, that impale, bringing Shyvana back in. And the position was so good that when Crumbs finally showed up, the equalizer was perfect. They locked everyone up from Solo Mid. They couldn't escape from the base. The turret just going to work the entire time. I didn't even see what happened to KX. I was watching that front line just melt, but Dignitas pulling up a 3-1 kill advantage there. That's exactly what they needed to turn this game around.
On the PewDiePie, just trying to farm himself up right now in that bottom lane. He is 184 minions to 202 on Chaos. Chaos very strong right now with that second core item on him. He has that Bloodthirster, another dragon now, the second one, third one of the game. As I said, second one going to TSM. Dignitas was able to get the first, but we've seen and played before and heard from TSM, those really early objectives sometimes aren't worth losing people on your team. If you're going to lose Dragon, try to go for it, then you're probably going to lose the turret as well. They let that first Dragon go, and it seems to be working in their favor.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it's very close to the late game status where if you get a couple of champion kills, you can convert it into anything. You don't want to give up champion kills for something like a Dragon, even something like a Baron sometimes, because there's going to be an immediate counterattack and the other team will get something even more valuable. A Dragon, in terms of gold and experience, is worth 2 champion kills, and that's really, really powerful. You get 1,000 gold for your team. You see in solo mid now, as Rick just said, pick up 2 of them, and that's built some of the gold that they have here. But if you make if you take big risks and you get caught out for them just to earn some easy gold, the gold's going to get reversed as they pick up a kill, and they're going to start picking up turrets, extra minions, buffs, things like that. You've got to be really careful on both these signs here. You saw a reckless initiation from Team Solo Mid. Again, Dignitas wants to capitalize on initiation mistakes. That was one of them. TSM needs to keep the pressure on, though. They need to fight correctly.
Now, we've seen what Team Solo Mid has done for a lost lane before. Sometimes they just hang it out to dry. When especially KAX were having a bad game the other time, they focused mid and top. Dignitas really didn't go to that kind of strategy for their positioning, and they're really just trying to go all over together. It's not working out for them. Their initiations haven't been the strongest. QTPie isn't really able to output the damage Corki is, so in the fight, their positioning is going to have to be perfect. They're going to, as we have said before, get fights in the jungle with Rumble in those close quarters, the positionings for his harpoons to land and the equalizer to completely smother the opponent. So if Dignitas can't initiate correctly in these next few fights, TSM is just going to continue to stay in the driver's seat and possibly grab this next Baron uncontested once again.
Yeah, Patoy completely out of position. Top Gold tries to escape here, but KAX is going to be too powerful here. 1 hit to go. They will pick that up. Nice grab there. And that was an Oracle's down as well for Patoy. This is exactly not what Dignitas wanted. They wanted to force TSM to fight them in their base on top of turrets where their crowd control and lockup could kind of let the turret fight for them and make it a full 5-on-5, because right now Solo Mid so up in gold, you can consider it a 5-on-4 or a 6-on-5. They've just got so much more power individually that they've basically got more champions there. Waiting around for Dragon right now. There's actually the push there. Dominate taking a lot of damage, but here comes Skara. There's the pull, but they've got Shen, and they are running away. Dark Bunny will not quite land as they will escape. They've traded ultimates back right now. Horn is alive. We'll see what happens here. Baron still getting chunked down.
Greek, I don't think I've really ever seen a team do this to another team before. They really can't even leave half the side of their jungle. TSM is just way too dominant right now, and they have the mobility to get to each other in absolute seconds. Corki right over the wall. Now again with Dyrus. QTPie forced to run with this team. They're now all going top lane. This is what TSM wants to be able to go around the outside of the base here. 30 minutes into the game, they were not letting Dignitas even on their half of the map. They've only lost 1 turret.
Yeah, and this is a scary situation here. TSM playing it right. They pushed in and got the first turret now. They're going in for the inhibitor, and now they can fight in the base. QTPie gets caught out. Exhaust is on. He's going to cleanse away. Now, is he going to be safe enough to fight off in the middle? Dominate taken. Actually, Crescendo fully whipped right here. Is there going to be enough damage here? Dyrus, of course, has a Guardian Angel. Dominate's going to fall down. Not tanky enough. Autumn will drop. QTPie going to get caught out, though. Another exhaust made that one happen. He's going to try to go for the explosion here. Not going to be enough. KAX with the double kill there. Extra kills.
Wow, a very fast Zeke's Herald coming out Onyx special as we have the odd one going for the Aegis. So they're going to have quite a bit of auras working here, something we've seen a lot in the Korean gameplay where everybody is helping each other out and nobody's trying to really just build up those items for themselves. Very great job here. Shyvana grabbing up the Phage to keep himself within range and continuously do damage, as well as to help heal anybody off of KAX if he gets in a sticky situation. They have right now so much of an advantage to take people off of their AD carry, take people off of the important people that matter, that these fights are just going to go so heavily in their favor. It may be over quite soon for Dignitas, and they're going to have to rethink what happened for this second game.
Yeah, I think right now Dignitas needs to channel their inner Counterlogic Gaming Europe. They need to channel their inner, hold the game on for 30 minutes when it looks hopeless, because they need some more gold to hold on to this game. I mean, QTPie needs to finish Infinity Edge. He's very close to that. He's 120 gold away from completing that item. Skara just needs to keep scaling. He's finally got a Frozen Heart for himself. He's going to try to finish the Banshee's Veil soon. He's about 400 gold short of even making that combine happen. They need like 3 minutes here. Not even 3 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes. Dignitas needs to wait and try to get enough gold. They can complete some items before TSM goes for a killing push right here. If they can get those combines, that's going to be good, and they can be close to equal footing here. We're seeing a couple of the members of Team Solo Mid have switched over to defensive items. Corky's got a Quicksilver Sash. You've got wards being picked up here by Reginald, so some of their gold bonus is being spent on things that don't translate into damage right away, and that's a good chance for Dignitas to catch up some kills because they're going to be a little bit closer in power here. Solo Mid, they're knocking on the front door at this right-hand side lane.
Freak, it's not like Dignitas is even playing bad. It's just that TSM strat of getting ahead in gold early and pushing I will dominate out. That red buff being taken and constant raids being taken has led to this. That much early domination can really help you in the game and get a definitive early to late game. They're pushing in split lanes now, keeping Rumble up top. That's a lot of the area effect damage they need in this fight right now. Reginald waiting off in the wings for the initiation so he can flash in with that Soul Shackles, but they're going to go ahead, grab the inhibitor without taking too much damage, and they're not even poking that much either. It's just that Dignitas has not found a way to defend this strategy or this team composition.
Yeah, right now a lot of pressure. The third inhibitor about to go down. This looks very similar to last night, where the 3 inhibitors were down and it made an eventual win happen. Solo Mid so far up in gold, they're looking to close this one out. The turrets are all available, the minion waves are here, and this positioning is so good for Solo Mid as well. They're spread out. It's not easy to pick them off. They jump in on Dyrus. They will pull him into this turret. Can they do enough damage? He's got a Guardian Angel. The shield's going to be too good. Morgana jumps in. Reginald popping Zonias. The dance coming out from Sona as well. They all get locked up, but they're healing on top of their turret right now. But now the Nexus is available. It's down to half health in TSM. They're going to want to keep pushing in. No, they're actually backing out. The Nexus alive. Scar getting pushed down. They're going to reinitiate here, picking up kill after kill. Gosh, Cogma actually picked up 2. Dignitas, they haven't even died yet. They're still going for this one. They're pushing down on a Reginald now. One's off on the side. I'm expecting someone to show up out of nowhere, but no, it's going to be Reginald falling, and somehow Dignitas have come out with a 4-1 kill lead, but their Nexus has nothing next to it anymore.
That was absolutely amazing. TSM was going completely for the win there. We could see that Oddone was just contemplating, I can punch this with my dragon hand, but I'm not going to do much damage. I'm still in the wrong form. He really just couldn't get himself in and out fast enough. His burnout was down and he didn't like his positioning. But you could see how much focus they had on the Nexus now at 75% health and ticking slowly back to full.
Wow, so all 11 turrets are gone. We're going to see just how they managed to get those last 3 turret kills. And now Dignitas managed to push them back. We've got the replay of that last fight right here. Dignitas is going to be stuck in their base for some time. We see it open up. The initial pull on the Dyrus, though, he escapes beautifully. The pressure is on everywhere, but watch PewDiePie. He refuses to go down. He dodges all the crowd control, goes into his fountain, takes some burst, but he's still healing, and he's allowed to attack from range. You see Sona fall down. Good kill by Rumble. PewDiePie off on the right-hand side. The green elixir there as well. Able to keep poking out from afar. Scar dies, but it doesn't matter. Chaos just a little bit too far up. Gets jumped on. PewDiePie again, healing inside of his fountain. A double kill as he picks up the return kill onto Shen. And then at that point, there's not enough members alive, and they take everything else down.
The odd one grabbing Dragon by himself. That's going to be more gold for TSM. Not even necessary for them right now, but they want to make sure they deny it from Dignitas. The gold is so much in their favor that they really have almost everything they need right now. The Rabadons, Zonia's, Void Staff onto Reginald. He's more than happy to jump into a fight and initiate here. Soul Shackle's already back up from that last fight. They also have Crescendo, the area of effect stun. You make your team dance for an entire 2 seconds. That is not going to be great for them. Along with that, you have the Dark Binding to come out next as well, and Shen to taunt your entire team. They grab up on Dyrus. He does not have the Guardian Angel up, but he gets Black Steel. The Wild Growth goes on to dominate. Will he have what it takes to help his team and peel them off with the 80 carries? Reginald and everyone taking actually a little too much damage. PewDiePie left alone, and with the Infinity Edge now in his hands, is able to turn around and tear back through the TSM lineup. 2 have fallen, and Dignitas stands strong with 5 in their own base.
And they've got a farmed Kog'Maw. He was able to pick down Shen very, very fast. He ran away pretty quickly, but the Equalizer really hurt TSM's reinitiate. Reginald went in for the ultimate Zonias, but everyone had their flashes up once more. You see them all freshly on cooldown. Everyone from Dignitas, once again, they broke Soul Shackle. And that's how these fights are, that's what these fights are going to hinge on. Is Soul Shackle up? Is it going to actually stun anyone? When Dignitas is able to escape from those situations, when Soul Shackle hits nothing and stuns no one, that's when Dignitas can win. PewDiePie attacking from such a long range. When he's safe back there, he's got shields, he's got stuns, he's got slows from everyone else. He can just crush these targets, even a Guardian Angel, Randuin's Omen Shen. He just deals all of the damages right now. Skara, a very big damage threat as well. But, you know, they're still stuck in the base of inhibitors dead. Look at Team Solo Mid.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. As we said before, you have this much control over the map, your minions are going to start acting like wards, and as they push into the base, you're going to figure out where the enemy team is. Right now, with the amount of wards in the jungle aggressively placed from red all the way over, they're going to know anyways if they were coming for that Baron, the third uncontested to go to Team Solo Mid at 37 minutes.
And they're going to be happy to just keep farming those large objectives. The difficulty for Team Solo Mid in every one of these last few battles has been it's difficult to run into Dignitas' stage. It's difficult to fight in those close quarters where they're close to their fountain, where they can re-heal, where they can get back into the fight or take some initial burst. The fight on the Nexus would have been theirs if not for the fountain there to keep healing up PewDiePie and heal up everyone else on that lineup. That was the MVP of that battle, was a 10% of your max health every second healing buff when you're in that back corner. But TSM, they know they have map control, they know the open field is all theirs. Every Dragon, every Baron, all but one turret in TSM's favor, but can they close it out inside of Dignitas' base? TSM has got Baron buff, this is their chance.
You know, you got to give huge credit to PewDiePie coming back on top with CS over Chaos and almost matching his items as well after being 0-3 and 0, now 4-5 and 4. And it looks like Dominate wanted to get that initiation there. He's got to be careful. He has used that pull quite early. Looks like he's going for Impale once more, back and forth. Dominate going out in the front of the fight is going to warn TSM instantly. You can see the Black Shield always on. The Equalizer goes down. Morgana does not have the Black Shield to help anymore as it was on to Corki, but the initiation won't happen either. They are just getting pop shots on this inhibitor. Really playing the poke game, but not on the champions, just on the objectives.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel back up here for Dyrus. Ultimate down from This is a very good situation here. Minions are pushing the inhibitors back down. The sixth man for Team Solo Mid is here. The super minions are flooding in. They've pulled in Shen once more, but he's got Guardian Angel. He's popped Randuin. He might be worth a revive, but who cares? Dominate taking so much damage. Blue ult is on. Shyvana gonna run through as well. There's one kill being jumped in. There's a 2 kill happening right there. Chaos still pushing in on everything. Reginald will pop his Zhonya's PewDiePie so very low. He's going to fall down as well. This is going to be Team Solo Mid pulling out Chaos.